Hello children, I am Rasika Pagaria from Araham Junior College. This year I will be teaching you economics. In 11th standard we studied in economics about the poverty, unemployment, population, then economic policy of 1991 and all. It was just an basic economics. But this year in 12th standard we are going to study economics in two parts, that is micro and macro. What you studied in 11th standard, that was basic economics and which was completely different than what we are going to study now. So let us begin with our first chapter. The first chapter is Introduction to Economics. In this chapter we are going to study about the microeconomics and macroeconomics. In microeconomics we are going to study about the scope, features and importance. Same thing with macroeconomics, we are going to study about the scope, features, importance. Okay, so let's begin with the chapter. What is economics? Last year you studied different definitions, different things in economics, but what is basic economics? Economics is nothing but a social science which broadly deals with human wants, needs, human satisfaction, etc. Okay. Now, as I have told you earlier, economics is divided into two branches. You can see the two branches, micro and macro. First, we will go through the macroeconomics. About macroeconomics, today we are going to cover the topic that is introduction, definition, scope, features and importance. First is introduction. Microeconomics studies the economic sanction and behavior of individual unit such as an individual, a consumer, firm, etc. Micro is a Greek word which is derived from the word macros, that is M-I-K-R-O-S. Micro means small. Small, like if you go through the microscope, what do you see? You will see the small particles, right? Same thing here. In this also we are going to study everything in detail. This deals with everything in details means human behavior. If you take a particular unit or a particular firm, it studies about it in every detail parts. That is the microeconomics. Now definition. See what we did in introduction, same thing comes in here in the as a definition. Microeconomics is in fact a microscopic study of the economic. What is meant by microscopic study? Through microscope what we come to know? About the details, small parts. Same thing about all we come to know about the details in microeconomics. Another definition we can read is this: microeconomics consists of looking at the economy through a microscope as it were to see how the millions of cells in the body of the economy, the individual or household as consumer and individual or firm as producer plays their part in the working of the whole economic organism. What we did here is, see how through we can study the human cells in small parts. Same here in economics we can study the individual, firm, household or an individual behavior in small parts. Okay, this was the introduction and definition of the economics. In exam, as per the exam point of view, this is the simplest definition you can easily remember, that is microeconomics is in fact a microscopic study of the economy. Now let's move towards the scope of the microeconomics. Here you can look at the scope of the microeconomics. In scope, it is divided into three parts, that is theory of product pricing, theory of factor pricing and theory of economic welfare. Again, the theory of product pricing is divided into two parts, demand analysis and supply analysis, and whereas the theory of factor pricing is divided into four parts, that is rent, wages, interest, profit. Theory of economic welfare. Theory of economic welfare is further divided into three parts. There is efficiency in production, efficiency in consumption, and overall economic efficiency. So this is the scope of economics, microeconomics. Now we will look into each part. That is, first is theory of product pricing. Theory of product pricing means demand and supply. Whatever we produce, it's completely depend upon the demand and supply. If you produce something what is demanded, then automatically your sale will increase. If what happen at when we introduce some product in the market, what we do, we keep it at a reasonable price. But once the market accept our product, like when the customer is satisfied, what we do, we start increasing the price. That's the market policy. The price of an individual commodity is determined by the market force of demand and supply. Microeconomics is concerned with the demand analysis, that is, it deals with the individual consumer behavior, and supply analysis means it deals with the individual producer behavior. Actually, who supplies the good? The person who produces the good supplies the good. And who demands the good? The person who consumes the good. Once you consume, if you are happy, you will demand more, right? And the producer is able to produce something which is good, something which is needed in market, then what he will start? He will supply the goods. So the theory of product pricing demand depends upon the demand analysis and supply analysis. So this is about the product pricing. Next is theory of factor pricing. So what are the factors of production? There are 4 factors of production: rent, wage, interest, profit. Without these 4 things, we can't do anything. Say for rent, if you buy a land, then you have to pay the rent for it. Without land, can you produce anything? No. Without land, you can't produce anything, right? So for land, you are supposed to pay the rent. What about wages? If you have land, you are paying rent for it, then how will you produce? Without labor, will you be able to produce something? No, you won't be able to produce something without labor. And what labor needs? He needs the wages. Wages are paid weekly. And what about interest? Interest we pay for the capital which we had borrowed from the other person, right? Because for running any business, we need a large amount of capital. So on that capital, we need to pay the interest. Then next thing is profit. Who needs the profit? The entrepreneur. Without profit, will he be doing anything? No, he won't be able to do anything without profit. So profit plays an important role for him. Now, how these all are related? In microeconomics, land, labor, capital and entrepreneur are the 4 important factors of production. This is very clear. Now, microeconomics help in determining the factor reward for the land, labor, capital and entrepreneur in the form of rent, wage, interest and profit. Okay. Now, we will move towards the theory of economic welfare. Theory of economic welfare basically deals with efficiency in the allocation of resources. Efficiency in allocation of resources means, see, whatever we produce, we need some resources, but the resources which we need are always scarce, are always in limited resources. ऐसा है क्या कि चलो बाबा अपन शुरू कर रहे हैं, जितना चाहिए उतना ले लेते हैं रिसोर्सेज, जितना चाहिए उतना रॉ मटेरियल ले लेते हैं and we'll use it anyway how we want. Will your business will run properly? No, it will end up with the complete loss. So what we are supposed to do is, we are supposed to with the minimum resources, we must make sure that we can obtain maximum satisfaction of the people. Efficiency in allocation of resources is attained when it results in maximization of satisfaction of the people. Economic efficiency involves 3 efficiencies: efficiency in production, efficiency in consumption and overall economic efficiency. Now, what is meant by efficiency in production? Efficiency in production means producing maximum possible amount of goods and services from the given amount of resources. आपका प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा कब होगा जब आपके पास जितना रिसोर्सेस अवेलेबल है उसमें से आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा आउटपुट निकालें, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा चीज़ें प्रोड्यूस करने की कोशिश करें. व्हेन यू विल बी एबल टू produce the maximum requirement possible of goods and services, then only it would be efficiency in production. तभी आपका प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा होगा, अच्छे से होगा. जितना प्रोडक्शन ज़्यादा होगा उतना आप ज़्यादा सप्लाई कर पाओगे, जितना ज़्यादा सप्लाई रहेगा उतना ज़्यादा लोग खरीदेंगे, एंड व्हाट हैपन एट द एंड, यू विल बी गोइंग टू गेट द प्रॉफिट. दैट इज efficiency in production. Efficiency in consumption. Efficiency in consumption means distribution of goods, distribution of produced goods and services among the people for consumption in such a way that maximum total satisfaction of the society. Means whenever your product is consumed by the consumer, he should get the complete satisfaction. He should be happy. If he is completely satisfied, then only you can produce more, then only is going to demand more. If he is going to demand more, you have to supply more, you have to produce more. So consumer satisfaction plays an important role. So efficiency in consumption plays an important role. Next is overall economic efficiency. It means producing of those goods which are most desired by the people. जिसका ज़रूरत है लोगों को, आप वही बनाओ. जैसे now the summer has come. In summer, if you are going to produce woolen clothes and if you are going to introduce woolen clothes in the market, is anyone going to buy that? No, no one is going to buy that. But instead of that, if you introduce cotton clothes, then what will happen? There will be an automatic demand for your product. So produce only those goods which are required as per the time, as per the season, which are required by the consumer anytime. Okay, now this was the scope of microeconomics. Now let's move towards the features of microeconomics. Features of microeconomics are study of an individual unit, price theory, partial equilibrium based on certain assumption, slicing method, analysis of market structure. Now let's study the first one, that is the study of an individual unit. As I have told you earlier, what is microeconomics? Microeconomics is nothing but a small parts which is divided into small parts looking into small things. Now study of an individual unit means with this you can study a particular firm, particular industry, or a particular household, or an individual price of the product. So microeconomics is the study of the behavior of all small economic individual all units like individual firm, individual price, household, etc. Now let's move towards the price theory. Microeconomics helps in determining the price of the product. How? As in last in scope we have studied the factors of production. Factors of production are land, labor, capital and entrepreneur. We are supposed to pay their price, that is land in the form of rent, labor in the form of wages, capital in the form of interest and entrepreneur profit. So price of the product is based on the factors of production. If factors of production are properly utilized, then the price of the product is also low. So microeconomics deal with the determination of the price of the goods and services as well as the factor of production. Hence it is known as the price theory. Now partial equilibrium. First, what do you mean by equilibrium? The word itself equilibrium has its meaning. Equilibrium means equal. It should be equal. So equilibrium is a balance between two factors. Microeconomics analysis deals with partial equilibrium, which analyzes equilibrium position of an individual economic unit, that is individual consumer, individual firm, individual industry, etc. It isolates an individual unit from other force and studies its equilibrium independently. अभी अपन बोलते हैं डिमांड एंड सप्लाई मैच ही नहीं हो रहा है, So what did microeconomics do? It looks into the demand part और supply part. Why it is not balancing, किधर problem है, ये सब अपने को समझ में आता है when we deal with the microeconomics. Now based on certain assumption, microeconomics is based on certain assumptions like there is a perfect competition in the market, large and fair policy, pure capitalism, full employment. When we study microeconomics, we assume certain things to be simple, certain things to be remaining unchanged, that is constant. If we keep certain things constant, then only we will be able to find the microeconomics. Then slicing method. Slicing method means, slice means cutting into small parts. We do, now the mango season is going on, we cut mango into slice and then only we eat, right? So same thing with the microeconomics. In microeconomics we use slicing method. Like whatever we take, if we take an individual firm, what we do, we divide that into small portion, like sales department alag, marketing department alag, and all other departments, accounts department alag, सब अपन अलग अलग इसमें divide करते हैं. That is known as slicing method. It splits or divides the whole economy into small units and then study each unit separately in detail. For example, for to study of individual income out of national income. अब national income अपन study तो नहीं कर सकते, but एक एक individual का income अपन study करके we can study the whole nation's income, right? Now use of marginalism principle. The concept of marginalism is the key tool of microeconomics. Marginalism is adding extra to the portion. This we will be studying in second chapter. Analysis of market structure. Analysis of market structure means we study there are certain types of market in economy, like monopoly market, perfect competition market and all. Through microeconomics we come to know the market structure, actually in which market we deal with. That is I think fifth chapter we are going to study about the different market structure. Microeconomic analysis, there are certain markets like perfect competition, monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic markets are there. So these were the features of microeconomics. Now next we will be studying the importance of microeconomics. Till now we had studied the scope, features of microeconomics. Now we will be studying the importance of microeconomics. Importance of microeconomics. Price determination. Microeconomics helps in determining the price of the product and various factors of production are determined. Various factors of production, as we know, land, labor, capital are the factors of production. It helps by determining the price of the product. Now free market economy. Microeconomics help in understanding the working of the free market economy. A free market economy is that economy where we can take the decision like what to produce, how to produce, how much to produce, for whom to produce. See, whenever we start some production, what we do basically, we see first if we have the answer, like I have capital today, what I will think, how I can utilize this capital, how I can gain maximum from this my capital. Then what I'll think, I'll think of starting a new business. How I will start a new business? Before starting a business, I'll think of these questions. What I will be producing, how I will produce, for whom I should produce, how much I am going to gain from that. If I have answer to all this question, then only I can produce something, then only I can enter the market freely, right? So free market economy is that economy where the economic decision regarding production of goods such as what to produce, how much to produce, how to produce, etc. are taken at individual level. Like individual himself can take all this decision and he can answer to all this question. Now foreign trade. You know what is meant by foreign trade? Foreign trade means we should do trading with the other country or other nation. Like it can be in the form of import and export, right? What is export? Export means when we send our goods to other country, and import means what we buy from the other country, that is import. Now how microeconomics help in foreign trade? See, when we do a foreign trade, we should look at the tariff, then currency. How am I going to gain through this foreign trade? Is my product helpful there in the foreign trade? Is there any use of that product in foreign? If we have answer to all this question, then only we can do the foreign trade. Like if I am doing trade with some other countries, I'll look at the currency rate. If that currency rate is good and I know that I'm going to gain through that business, then only I will do the foreign trade. If I feel I'm not going to gain through this business, currency rate won't help me here, what I'll do? I won't do that a business. So microeconomics helps in dealing with the foreign trade. And then economic model building. See, when we study the small object, we get some model, we get some idea. Through that idea, we can take certain decision. Microeconomic helps in understanding various complex economic situation with the help of economic model. It has made a contribution to economic by developing various terms, concepts, terminologies, tools of economic analysis, etc. Economic models are built using various economic variables. Now, business decision. Microeconomic help businessman in taking various decisions. How it helps? See, if the businessman has to deal with foreign trade, microeconomics will help him, right? If he has to deal in the nation itself, then too he has to pay for the factor of production. It depends upon the market, how the market performs and all. These all questions can be answered to microeconomics, and businessman can take any crucial decision, any important decision with the help of the microeconomics. Microeconomic theory are helpful to businessmen for taking all the important crucial decisions. This can determine microeconomics can determine the cost of production, it can determine the price of the goods, then output and profit, etc. In this way, it can help the businessman to take a proper decision which will be fruitful for him. Now, useful to the government. Now, government, what role government plays? Government plays a very important role. Government has to frame the certain policies, it has to prepare the budget and everything, right? So how government frames the policy? Through microeconomics, government gets the all basic information, small information. With that, he comes to know the problem of individual and everything. On that basis, he frames certain policy like taxation policy, pricing policy, public expenditure policy, etc. So through this, government can achieve its goal, and even the citizen are also in good favor, and even they are benefited by this policy. So in this way, it helps the government to take the decision which will be helpful to both government as well as the citizen. Now next is basic of welfare economics. Basic of welfare economics means how we can obtain a maximum result from minimum of output or minimum resources. Like it all studies about the tax effect, social welfare, etc. Economic welfare, as we have studied this basic of welfare economics. Microeconomics, how best result can be obtained through utilization of resources and its proper allocation. So this all we studied about the microeconomics. So here we can say that in microeconomics we studied about its scope, its features and importance. Just go through the textbook, download the e-textbook from the Bal Bharti app. There you will get the textbook. Just read it once about the microeconomics. In next lecture, we will be studying about the macroeconomics. So till that time, you just revise about this microeconomics. If we have any doubt, we will be clearing it later, or just mail me on my mail ID. Thank you.